Hello everyone, good morning. Let me introduce myself to all of you. My name is Adelia Putri Adiko. My student number is B1024191013. I am the student of Management International class, bench 2019. In this semester, I take Human Resource Management. My lecturer is Sir Adi Mursalin. On this good occasion, I would like to answer the Human Resource Midterm Quiz. Well, my dear audience, watch me and hope listen to me carefully. Thank you. Alright, so I would like to answer the question on part A. 1. As I remember, I always attend the Zoom meeting class of Human Resource Management, and the total is 7 times, and the reason I always join the class because I must learn to gain my knowledge about human resource management so that I able to use it in the future. 2. I never miss the Zoom meeting class of Human Resource Management, so I get all the knowledge about human resource currently from my friend's presentation, and also my group had the presentation too. 3. The title of human resource book that I use for learning, namely a handbook of human resource management practice from Michael Armstrong, 10th edition. The book contains many explanations about refers to major developments in human resource practice in the last 2 to 3 years, such as the development of theory and the practice of human capital management, talent management, and approaches to learning and development, and all covered in a new or substantially revisited chapter. 4. There are 12 chapters of the book. Chapter 1 is about managing people. It deals with the approaches and philosophy that affect how people are managed in organization, the role of human resource function and its member, and the special consideration that affect international people management. The term people management embraces the two related concepts of human resource management and human capital management, which are defined and explained in the first two chapters. These have virtually replaced the term personal management, although the philosophy and practice personal management still provide the foundation for philosophy and practice of human resource and human capital management. Chapter 2 is about human resource management process. Its study about human resource management process are those concerned with the development of human resource strategies, policies, and practice that affect all aspects of human resource and employment management. This part also covers other processes that affect most aspects of human resource, namely competency, based approaches, knowledge, management, and role and competency analysis. Chapter 3 is about work and employment. This chapter is concerned with the factor affecting employment in organization. It explores the nature of work, the employment relationship, and the important concept of the philosophical contract. So what is work? Work is the exertion of effort and the application of knowledge and skill to achieve a purpose. And the concept of the employment relationship is significant to human resource specialists because it governs much as of what organizations need to be aware of in the developing and applying human resource process. Chapter 4 is about organizational behavior. The purpose of this part of the book is to outline a basic set of concepts and to provide analytical tools which will enable human resource specialists to diagnose organization behavior and to take appropriate action. This purpose is achieved by initial provide a general analysis of character individual at work. The concept of chapter 4 of individual motivation, job satisfaction, commitment, and job engagement are then explored the way in which organizations function, formal and informal structure, and how people work together in group. The cultural factors that affect organizational behavior. Chapter 5: Organization, Design and Development. This part is concerned with the practical application of organizational behavior theory. It starts by looking at the process of organizational design and development and deals with the job and role development. Chapter 6 is about people resourcing. People resourcing is concerned with the ensuring that the organization obtains and retains the human capital it needs and employ them productively. It is also about those aspects of employment practice that are concerned with welcoming people to the organization and if there is no alternative, releasing them. HRM is fundamentally about matching human resources to the strategic and operational needs of the organization and ensuring the full utilization of those resources. Chapter 7: Performance Management. In this chapter, study the nature, aims, characteristic, and concern and guiding principle of performance management that are described. In addition, the difference between performance appraisals and performance management are examined, and reference is made to views of a selection practitioners on performance management. Chapter 8: Human Resource Development. Human resource development is concerned with provision of learning, development, and training opportunities in order to improve individual, team, and organizational performance. Human resource development is essentially a business-led approach to developing people within a strategic framework. Chapter 9: Rewarding People. This part concerned with the process of rewarding people in organization. It starts with a general review of reward management, which include description of its application for directors and executive, sales staff, and manual workers. This chapter provides an overview of reward management. The concept of reward management, its strategy and detailed aims and philosophy are discussed initially. Chapter 10: Employee Relations. Employee relation consists of all those areas of human resource management that involve relationship with employees directly and or through collective agreement where trade unions are recognized. The purpose of this chapter is to provide a review of complex subject of employee relation. Chapter 11: Health, Safety, and Welfare. This part deals with the service provided by the HR department in order to help the organization meet its legal and social responsibility to ensure a healthy to a safe place of work, to help employees cope with their personal problem, to help elderly and retired employees, and in some cases to make recreational facilities available. Chapter 12: Employment and Human Resource Service. It is applied generally or to groups of employees need to define it in areas included in the contract of employment as described below. Number 5. Yes, I always active during the class. Usually when my classmates do the presentation, I ask what I do not understand about the material. After that, my classmate explain it clearly so that I won't confuse anymore. 6. Group that have done the presentation. There are 12 groups. I learned many things. One, for example, is concerned with the provision of learning, development, and training opportunities in order to improve individual, team, and organizational performance. For what I learned from my group are developing and implementation of human resource strategies such as provisions about development process, strategy definition, and barriers to the implementation of human strategies. 7. Yes, I feel I'm interesting and I think I'm will considerating for taking human research concentration for the next semester because in later on it will useful for get a job. The human resource itself has an important role for the company to achieve their goals. I already answered all the question of part A. Now I would like to answer the question of part B. 1. Human resource strategies are described by Dyer and Reeve in 1995 as eternally consistent models of human resource practice. And in the words of Boxall in 1996, they provide a framework of critical ends and means. Richardson and Thompson in 1999 suggest that a strategy, whether it is a human resource strategy or any other kind of management strategy, must have two key elements. There must be strategic objective, things the strategy is supposed to achieve, and there must be a plan of action, the means by which it is proposed that the objective will be met. Sisson in 1995 has commented, human resource management is not a single homogeneous occupation. It is involved a variety of roles and activities that differ from one organization to another, from one level to another in the same organization. Last HRM has defined by Hall in 1984 as the identification of needed skill and active management of learning for the long-range future in relation to explicit corporate and business strategies. 2. Human resource functions for the future are helping employees make their way from entry level to senior staff member, offering them training opportunities and guiding them through their professional development throughout their employee journey. This can lead to better organizational efficiency and help retain employees and acquire new talent for business needs. 3. Because human resource management, especially in big companies, is useful to ensure that your staff are well aware of their rights and responsibilities at work. It also reinforces a standard of acceptable behavior and conduct in the workplace. 4. They explain the concept of strategy. According to Johnson and Scholes in 1993, strategy has been defined by Johnson as a direction and scope of another organization over the longer term, which ideally matches its resource to its change environment and in particular to its market, customer and client to meet stakeholder expert action. Strategy determines the direction in which organization is going in relation to its environment. It is process of defining intention and allocating or matching resources to opportunities and needs. Business strategy is concerned with achieving a competitive advantage. The effective development and implementation of strategy depends on the strategy's capability of the organization managers. Strategies is express strategies, goals, and development and implemented in strategic plans through the process of strategy management. Strategy is about implementation, which includes the management of change as well as planning. Strategy human resource management is connection between a company human resource and its strategies, objectives, and goals. The aim of strategy human resource management is to advance flexibility, innovation, and competitive advantage, develop a fit for purpose organizational culture. 6. There are two basic types of human resource strategies can be identified. 1. Overarching strategies, and 2. Specific strategies relating to the different aspects of human resource management. For number 1, overarching human resource strategies. Overarching strategies describe the general intention of the organizational about how people should be managed and developed, what steps should be taken to ensure that human resource process, the organization can attract and retain the people it needs, and ensure so far as possible that employees are motivate and engage. The example of overarching strategies are IDEON, B&Q, X, and many more. 2. Specific human resource strategies set out what the organization intends to do in areas such as talent management, how the organization intends to win the war of talent, continuous improvement, providing for focus and continuous incremental innovation sustained over a period of time. Knowledge management, creating, accurating, capturing, sharing, and using knowledge to enhance learning and performance. Resourcing, attracting, and retaining high quality people. Learning and developing, providing an environment in which employees are encouraged to learn and develop. Reward, defining what the organization wants to do in the longer term to develop and implement reward policies, practice, and process that will further the achievement and its business goals and meet the needs of its stakeholders. Employee relation, defining the intention of organization about what needs to be done and what needs to be changed in the ways in which the organization manages its relationship with employee and their trade unions. 7. Competency-based HRM is about using the concept of competency and the results of competency analysis to inform and improve the processes of performance management, recruitment and selection, employee development, and employee rewards. The language has dominated much of human resource thinking and practice in recent years. Competency framework at workplace is important. The application of competencies to appraisals, training, and other personal process will help to increase the performance of employees. And second, that competencies provide a means of articulating corporate values so that their requirements can be achieved in human resource practice and be readily understood by individuals and teams within the organization. Other reasons include the use of competencies as a means of achieving cultural change and of raising skill levels. 8. There are 10 steps to develop a competency framework. 1. Programming launch. Decided on the purpose of the framework and the human resource process for it will be used. Make out a business case for development, setting out the benefit to the organization as an improved performance, better selection outcomes, more focused performance management, employee development, and reward process. Prepare a project plan that includes an assessment of resources required and the cost. Step 2. Involvement and communication. Involve line managers and employees in the design of the framework. Stage 3 and 4 by setting up the task force. Communicate the objective of the staff exercise to staff. Step 3. Framework design. Competency list first. Get the task force to draw up a list of core competencies and values of the business. What it should be good at doing and the values it believes should influence behavior. Step 4. Framework design. Definition of competencies. Care needs to be exercised to ensure that definitions are clear and unambiguous and that they will serve their intended purpose. If, for example, one of the purpose is to provide criteria for conducting performance reviews, then it is necessary to be certain that the way competency defined, together with supporting example, will enable fair assessment to be made. Step 5. Define use of competency framework define exactly how it is intended the competency framework should be used, covering such applications as performance management, requirement, learning and development, and reward. Step 6 is test the framework. Test the framework by gauging guide the reaction of a balanced selection of line managers and other employees to ensure that they understand it and believe that it is relevant to their roles. Step 7. Realize the framework as necessary following the task of prepare notes for guidance of how it should be used. Step 8. Communicate. Let everyone know the outcome of the project, what the framework is, how it will be used, and how people will get the benefit. Step 9. Train. Give line managers and human resource staff training in how to use the framework. Step 10. Monitor and evaluation. Monitor and evaluate the use of framework and it is required. 9. Explain the concept of knowledge to Blackler in 1995. What is knowledge management? He notes that knowledge is multifaceted and complex, being both situate and abstract, implicit and explicit, distributed and individual, physical and mental, developing and static, verbal and encoded. He categorizes form of knowledge as technologies, rules, and organizational procedure. 2. Alcatraz as collective understanding, stories, value, and belief. M into the practical activity based on competencies and skill of members of organizations. Practical knowledge or how to know it. Embrace as the conceptual understanding and cognitive skills of members. Conceptual knowledge or know or how. Knowledge management is concerned with storing and sharing with the wisdom, understanding and expertise accumulated in an organization about its process techniques and operation. 10. Mention and explain the knowledge, explain the type of knowledge and mention the explain of the purpose significance of knowledge management. Explicit knowledge can be codified, it is recorded and available, and is held in databases, incorporated intranets, and intellectual property portfolio. Taxic knowledge exists in people's minds. It is difficult to articulate in writing. It is acquired through personal experience. As explained by Blake in 1998, the purpose of knowledge management is to capture a company's collective expertise and distribute into whether it can be achieved the biggest payoff. This is in accordance with the resource-based view of the firm, which, as agreed by Grant in 1991, suggests that the source of competitive advantage lies with the firm, it is people and their knowledge, not in how it positions itself in the market. Trussler in 1998 commented that the ability to gather, lever, and use knowledge effective to become a major source of competitive advantage in business over the next few years. Knowledge management, it is about getting knowledge from those who have it, those have need in order to improve organizational effectiveness. Alright, that is my answer for part B. Now I would like to answer the question for part C. 1. Yes, I had watched the video completely. 2. The video tells about two persons in human resource management division which have different perspectives in the way of managing the human resource management. For Luna, are so mean and not concerned about her employees. Meanwhile, Lufia as a manager is very concerned about her employees, kind and generous. 3. I find the manager while they're introducing themselves in the beginning of the video. 4. The lesson that I can get from watching the video is being a manager is not easy. Many things that manager has to be considered and to take care. The manager has to be firm, but also have respect about the employee's job too. Because if we don't do that, it makes so many miscommunication and the company will not working well. 5. If I become the manager in a company, I will give the reward employee fairly, equitably, and consistently in accordance with their value to the organization and their help the organization to achieve the strategic goals, so it makes them feel excited to their job. Alright, I have answered all the question on part C first video, and now I would like to answer the question on second video. 1. The video tells about the company that have problem with their employees because of the manager is too corrupt and there is unfair divisions. 2. The problem faced by the company are the one of the manager is too corrupt, the workload of employees is too much, and the salary of the worker is not appropriate. 3. We can see it from the job, which as we know, the manager is the one who manages the employee working. 4. We can learn from the video that being a manager, we must control our employees, not giving them too much work. We also must control their condition while they had a work in our company. If there are any pressure to do work, as a manager, we must be wise. I have answered all the question on the second video, and now I would like to answer the question on third video. 1. Yes, I have watched the video completely. 2. The video tells about the company have a problem with the market shares and their sales. Then the loyal customer moved to another company. The leader get angry and held a meeting with the managers to solve this problem. Then the video tells how their leader is not treat their employees well and don't get an appropriate salary. 3. People in the meeting room and what their occupations. Hendry Tendra as a CEO, Karin Sanjaya as secretary, Eksan Septian as a marketing manager, sharing the data that he have done. Salvatore Porwono as a operation manager, sharing the data to the CEO and secretary. Kane Cristanto as a financial manager, sharing the financial report to the secretary. And last one is Daniel Giovanni as HRM manager. 4. As we know and we can see from their job as the manager is who manage employee do the working. 5. All the manager as discussing what they have do for their company. They're also talking about their salary because of the amount that not fair with that they have done to their jobs. 6. As a leader for a company, we must protect, care, and the most important, it must contribute to everything in the company, such as monitoring work and many other things. The leader must also have a generous character because the manager and employees are doing well already. Alright, I already answered all the questions from part A to part C, and this is the end of my video. I'm very grateful I able to answer those questions. Stay safe for everyone and thank you for watching my video. Goodbye.